So whose message is resonating with the voters? Another take we'll get from Frank Luntz. He put his focus group to test and joins us now. He's the CEO of Luntz Global, a pollster and author of What Americans Really Want. Really. All right, so Frank, what do they want? Whose foreign policy are they the biggest fan of?
Well, I want to back up Howard Kurtz earlier, because what he said about Donald Trump is exactly correct. That Trump's language is connecting with Republican voters, and there is no second place. But we brought 3 ads to show your viewers, to basically crystallize the language that's working. The first one is from Ted Cruz, and his messaging is absolutely dead on when it comes to terrorism. Watch how high both the conservative and the moderate lines climb as he walks through exactly what he would do dealing with ISIS.
We will not defeat radical Islamic terrorism so long as we have a president unwilling to utter the words radical Islamic terrorism. What we need is a commander-in-chief who makes clear, if you join ISIS, if you wage jihad on America, then you are signing your death warrant. I introduced the Expatriate Terrorist Act in the Senate that said if any American travels to the Middle East and joins ISIS, that he or she forfeits their citizenship so they don't use a passport to come back and wage jihad on Americans.
We got the point there. That was a good one then, I guess.
It was a great one. It's one of the best that we've tested so far this election cycle. And the reason is that he's explicit. When he says that basically you've signed your death warrant if you have backed ISIS, that's exactly what Republicans want to hear.
All right, so let's get to the next ad.
Yes, because Cruz, here he's got the best ad, and you're about to see the worst ad when it comes to national security. This was based on a 1984 Ronald Reagan ad, and unfortunately for Ted Cruz, this ad doesn't work. Let's take a look.
There's a scorpion in the desert. For most of us, its venom is a clear and deadly threat. But others refuse to even speak its name. Since the scorpion seeks our destruction, isn't it time we recognize the scorpion for what it is before it strikes again?
I'm Ted Cruz, and I approve this message.
I don't know, Frank, the music alone kind of scared me.
But it's nothing wrong with scaring people. The issue is that they don't get it, that it is so subtle that it simply doesn't work.
All right, so then a simpler message would be better. So as far as looking at the left, I mean, we're seeing the messages coming from the GOP candidates. How are they viewing the hawkish message coming from Hillary Clinton on fighting terrorism?
Well, that's one of the keys, and this is where Chris Christie does it particularly well, where he holds her accountable for what the Obama administration has done. There's a mistake that Republicans have been making, which is to try to focus on why each other is wrong, when what Republicans really want is to demonstrate why Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are wrong. And I need to remind audiences that Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State for 4 years. So these are the results, the consequences of her policies. And that is essential, that the GOP needs to call it essentially the Obama-Clinton foreign policy.
Frank, do you see it that the candidates are amping up their tone on terrorism following these Paris attacks? I mean, it would seem that we're seeing a change in strategy from almost all of these candidates as we move forward.
You're exactly correct. They're amping it up. They're talking more about details, and that's exactly what the public wants. They want a plan, and it's 3 simple strategic steps that they want to hear from each candidate that they're going to do to make themselves feel safer. And I'll end with one point. Only 10% of Americans feel safer under Barack Obama. 80% feel less safe.
Well, it's interesting that the polling also shows that the tolerance of the American people, their tolerance for wanting more action and more aggressive action from the U.S. on terror, that's going up at the same time as well. All right, Frank, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.